Hello and welcome to Organ Live, and this is the second edition. This is the Orla Grande Theatre. I've got the Organ Live is to get the organs to be in your living room, so you can come and see them virtually without having to drive all the way to our showrooms. And the Orla Grande Theatre is an organ which we've sold lots of. They're very, very popular instruments. We don't get them any more new ones, they're second hand. But the Orla Grande Theatre is a kind of a full top of the range model. And this one is a great example, one we've taken in part exchange. Now the Orla Grande Theatre has another model which is almost identical to it. It's called the Orla Compact Theatre. So I've got the brochures here, and you can see this is the Compact Theatre, which is the smaller version, and then the Grand Theatre is the full case version. And the main difference is you get on the Compact Theatre, it's a lot lower, it's a little bit shorter, and it doesn't have this lid that comes down which protects it and keeps it from the dust. saying that, you can get a cloth cover that goes over the top of the smaller one. So if you're short of space, it doesn't stick out as far. I think it's about, so look, it's 9 centimetres shallower, so about 3 or 4 inches shallower, and it's about 10 centimetres less wide, so you get a little bit of a smaller cabinet. But what I'm going to show you, easy it is to use. The Grand Theatre is made to be easy to play, and that's what I love about it. It's got some fantastic sounds. It's got all the main sound sections in the middle section. If we change to the other camera, Charlie, you'll see that we've got this centre section here, and it's all colour. Go for the white voices. They're the organ flutes, which are on these nice drawbars down the end here. We can just turn the white section on in the upper keyboard, and then we've got these drawbars. So let's go on. If I just go to the flute bars. So I've got my pure flutes. I can just cut some out. So a beautiful combination would be a 16 and a 1. Or I might go to a 16 and a 2. Or I might go 16 and 4. Now these are the sizes of the footage of the pipes. So if you imagine a church organ, we've got a 16-foot pipe, it's going to be very low. A 1-foot tiny little pipe, it's going to be very high pitch. So you can combine the different footages to make your sounds. Now just 2 together give you a beautiful pure sound. 16 and 4. Let's go 16 and 8. And if we add some more together, let's add a few together now. We've got the 16 and the 4. Let's add the 4 and the 2. So we get a bigger sound. So for an organ that's got so many buttons, all I'm using at the minute is the drawbars, and that's where we've got the combination. Now when we get into the ones with the fractions on, that brings in the more the awkward notes. It's bringing in G's and F's when you play a C. So it sounds a lot more almost discordant but big and full. So if I play them all together, when I add them it sounds a bit odd, but as a big chord, big chunky sound. Now we've got the presets, and for the lower keyboard we've also got combinations that we can bring in from mixing it with other voices. So the way that I use this instrument, down this right hand side, if we go to the other camera, we've got these 7 buttons. Now these 7 buttons are giving us presets, and for every button there are 16 to choose from, A and B. So if we go to the A section, I just start off with the overall presets. Let's have a listen to what we've got. They start off with clarinet sounds. Okay, so lovely clarinet. So if we go to number 2 here, brilliant trumpets. Number 3, vibes. Nice with the piano in the left hand as well. Number 4, sax. The 5 is harmonica. So forth. So we've got all these sounds that are preset in, and I'm just choosing one button and everything's set up for me. If we go a bit further on, number 6, guitar. Now one thing we can do with all of these is they've all got a rhythm attached to them, and this is where it gets a bit more fun because there's a great rhythm section on this model. And if we bring in the what's called the auto setup, it sets up the whole of the rhythm section to suit the sound. So if I go into this one, we're on a Begin rhythm. Let's go to automatic, play my chord, and we get an intro. A great full setting, and that's for every single rhythm style. Let's go a little bit further. If I go to the last one, I've got a Dixie one. Oh, brilliant trumpet here. So let's see what that sounds like. I've got to play what to play. Our setup, that's really good, but we've also got a rhythm that comes in that, and in this case it's a Dixie 2. So I can either bring in my rhythm section to go with these sounds. So if I just bring in my auto bass, 3 and my 3-finger chords, I can now add my intro, and let's bring that in. And endings, Charlie. Really great endings on there. So every single style has got these sort of 3 choices of the backing. So we'll give that as an example. We'll start off with backing number 1, and we'll use the rhythm section. And I'll bring that in. Let's see what it sounds like. Now that's the more standard one, okay? But if I go to backing number 2, got other instruments coming through, and number 3, lots more going on. Okay, and we've got 2 fill-ins. Fill-in number 2, which is like an intro, and number 3. And the ending. Okay, so we've built into here 3 different backings for every single style. Every button has 3 choices, so there's 30 styles or rhythms, but each one has got 3 different choices of different versions of that rhythm. So we've actually got 90, and then each of those 90 have got these 3 variations. So we've got 270 different sort of backings that we can bring in preset from in the instrument. And then you've got an intro for every rhythm and an ending, and you've got 2 different fill-ins. So there's lots of things that you can do to make you feel and sound better as you're playing. Now then, if we go through some more of the presets, we've just gone through the overall presets at the moment. If we go to the next one up, it's called Reality Band. And let's have a look what the first one. The first one's a Glenn Miller sound. So we've got the Glenn Miller sound. If I just use it on the upper keyboard. So we're getting a nice full sound, but I'm playing big chords to do that. Now, if I bring my lower chords in, there's a feature on here which is going to give me that automatic chord. It's the feature that gives me like it's called melody on chord on some, or it's called technichord on the Technics. And when I play a left-hand chord, it's making that sound without me having to play all the notes in my melody right hand. So let's play that again with just a left-hand chord and one note. That's a nice big sound, but we've also got the rhythm section we can add in. So if I now add in that drum and that accompaniment section, let's add that in. Introduction, synchro start, and I'll play my chord. Really nice sound. Now I've got some more here. We've got number 2. Number 3. Reality band, we're getting lots of full-on band sounds. Number 4 we've got is bassy brass. Next one up is big band saxophone. So it's made really easy to understand and very quick just to get a whole setting. Rather than me having to go on the older organs with all the tabs, you were kind of adding bits and turning bits off all the time. It's just one button and it all sets it up. And that really is the future of the way that the organs are going now. We're getting these instruments that are kind of set up ready, and we can just go into one preset selection, and we're going to get a good sound. Does anyone want to say hello? Whereabouts are you all listening from? I've got my iPad here, so let's have a look. Got interrupted by a phone call, now it started. Norman Kerry, hi Norman, and hi Trevor Bunce, nice to have you with us. Having problems finding where to access the live feed? I think you must have found it, because I can see you now, what you've written. But if you're there, let me know where you're watching from. Let's find out who the furthest away is today. And it'd be great to, if you've got any questions, any sounds you want to hear, any rhythms you want to hear, any questions about playing it in certain ways, let me know and I'll be pleased to help you. So we've got my question thing here and I'm listening if you've got anything you want to say. Okay, so I'm going through the instrument. For those who've just joined us, it's a Grand Theatre, and it's the Orla. There's a smaller version they do, which this one's got 7 speakers. The smaller version's only got 5, but it's almost exactly, well, it is exactly the same apart from its cabinet, and it hasn't got room to put all 7 speakers in the compact theatre, it just has 5. But one thing that you'll find about organs of this kind is being the top of the range, the speakers are going to be really good, and the way that it's got all the voices built in makes it very, very easy to use. And that's what we're really going through. We're going through to show everybody just how simple it is. There are loads of buttons. People would come along for the first time and say it's like a flight aeroplane panel or whatever, but it's actually very easy to use. And the beautiful thing is it's color coded. So we went through the white flute section, which is this first section. If I go on to the blue section now, that's these buttons at the top here. We can see we've got piano, nylon guitar, brass, trombone, and it gives you, we've got on there 8 and 6, 14 sounds on the panel. But what's clever about every section in the Orla Grande Theatre is that you're getting a second voice that you can bring in, and that's from a list of what we can do. We've got the sound next to the button, but there's a button called user next to it, and that means that we can pull off our favourite alternative sounds and have one in every single button. So the piano might have a piano as its main sound. If I press the user voice, It's a honky-tonk. And each sound has got this alternative sound built into it. So we can go to trombone, but we can go to an alternative trombone. So we've got the sort of choice of which sound we want. Now, to do that is really, really easy. We press this red set button and everything flashes. You see all the lights in the sections that we can adjust flash. And all I do is I press my user voice, and then I can go to the voice I want to change, and it allows me to choose the sound that I want to change it to. So we can change it to a totally different voice, and then we lock it in, and that's there as our main voice then. So each sound section has its own choices of instruments, but every single button can be allocated a second sound, and that's what makes it so versatile. So anyway, we've gone through, we've got the first section was the overall presets. This next section we're on at the moment is the reality band, and we've shown you the Glenn Miller sounds. Let's see what else. We've got 30s band. We go a bit further, we've got Dorsey band. Again with the piano in the left hand. Let's go a bit further. Adios trumpet. Okay, let's go a bit further. We've got the B section now, so that we've got the A's and the B's. So let's go to, we've got, this is a beautiful sound. Last Morning it's called. One is Slow Dixie. Let's put the rhythm section on for this, and we'll go into a Slow Dixieland introduction. See what the next one is. So we've got slow, let's go to the Dixieland now. So after slow, we've got the next one on. Let's just go into that one. Put our intro on. A bit faster this time. Really good, and they're so orchestrated to that style that they really make you, and you can join in as well if you wanted to. Okay, we'll go a little bit further. In fact, let's just check out any more questions. So, Andy Sims, how from Bridlington. Hi, Andy. Jeff Street. Hi, Jeff from the Isle of Wight. Oh, I think you're winning perhaps at the moment. And Trevor Bunce, watching from Normandy. Norman B, not Normandy in France. So I have to remember this, it's Middlesbrough. I have an Orla Grande Theatre Jubilee. Can you go through the USB drive section? Well, this one doesn't have the USB drive section because this is the lower model. So the Grand Theatre is the one with the disk drive, floppy disk drive, and then the Grand Theatre Jubilee is like the next model on again. And that one has this flash little disk drive, USB drive at the bottom here, where each USB is partitioned into 100 sections, and you can have all your different sounds. So you've got lots of discs essentially. Rather than one disc giving you maybe 8 songs, you've got a lot more partitions in a USB drive to give you a lot more storage, and you can set them all into different places. So the Grand Theatre Jubilee is the follower model from this one, and a little bit special, a bit better, some extra sounds, the USB facility, and a little bit better speaker system. Now then, if we go on from here to some more things to show you, we've got some really good features on the far left here, which you can probably see best on that camera, that one. And on this left here, we've got something called an EQ. Now, the EQ is very sensitive, I suppose you'd say. So if I was playing a sound like whatever I've got on, this got this pa band I've just selected, I can change it to be very, very bright, and I can change it to be very mellow. Bright and mellow. That's from the treble section, and then from the bass section, I can cut the bass out, make it quite thin and quite woolly. So when you've got an organ of this kind, you can really tweak it to suit your ear. Some people buy this and would say, oh, it's too bright and it's too loud. And he said, well, did you realise you can adjust it? And the EQ section for the high and the low is really sensitive. So I can make, if I just have that sound on there, I'll make it very bright and very mellow. And that's for every single sound. So you can sort of balance it in the middle somewhere, but it means that you can tweak, if there's a sound that's a little bit shrill, yeah, you can soften it down. Ladies hear a little higher pitches, a lot more piercing than men. So it might be that you're playing and if there's a lady in the room, you might want to just soften that down a little bit because they might hear it more piercing than gentlemen. They don't hear the voice, the high trebly notes so much. So that's really good facility. Very good to soften an organ sound down, or a trombone or something. You can make it suit what you want. So that EQ is a very useful facility. And I'm leaving it in the middle at the moment, but we could change the whole sound that you hear by putting it softer or brighter to suit what you're after. Okay, so we'll go through some more voices. We're in the pa band now. A bit further, we've got Island Sun. We've got a steel band. Haven't played that for quite a while. Okay, let's get a bit further. Silver band. Sound, isn't it? So that's the silver band, and then if we go a bit further, we've got a school band. It's great. Now that's particularly effective if you do the pedal and the chord. So what I'm doing is, if I'm playing a C chord, I'm playing a C pedal and then a G. If I play a G chord, I'm playing a G with a D. So we can make that effect with the like the tuba effect in the band. And the last one in this section is a 6/8 march. So with all these, we can bring that rhythm section in if we want to, and I haven't been doing that very much, so let's just go back over a couple. We'll go to the 6/8 march. I'll bring in my automatic setup, and I've got my intro automatic, and we'll play that now. sound. Let's go back to the one we had before, the school band. Automatic setup, and let's see what the rhythm does. And we'll do one more. We'll go back to that silver band one now, and let's see what the silver band was like. Okay, that's almost the same rhythm as the other one. So we've got lots of really good accompaniments, and that's what I'm trying to get across, is to show you that it's easy to use. I'm not sort of adding bits every time. I'm just going along this row, and we've got these 7 categories. So let's go to another one. We've got one called Reality Orchestra. Button number 1 is a classical violin. Number 2 is orchestral flute. Blackadder theme, that works very well for that. Okay, oboe solo, this is going to be ideal for Memory from Cats. Really nice sound as well. Next one is Vienna, so a Viennese waltz. Beautiful sound. Okay, another one, orchestral horn. Next one is pizzicato. Plucking of the strings, okay. Gone a bit further, full orchestra. And we keep going through dynamic orchestra. Again, we're only on the first row of a load of these registrations. Let's go to the next row, and we've got Mantovani strings. We can tweak that sound, we can soften it right down from soft. So it makes a huge difference how much we just bring that treble down on the frequencies. Harmony strings. We've got piano harmony strings. Now it's harmony means we're going to get that chord feature, so I can play one note. is vocal strings. And romantic strings. And then we've got Sorrento magic. We've got lots and lots of choices, and these are just coming up all the time with a choice of sounds that go well together that they've found, and you've got the use of them. So that's in the reality orchestra. We've then got reality combo, and this is going to give us things like Nate Night Jazz. Section on. That's our backing. Nice bass line. Okay, so we've got a really good full sound that it's producing for us, and I'm just feeding it a few chords. Let's go a little bit further then. So we've got onto Benson Bossa Nova is probably the George Benson sound, so let's see what that sounds like. Okay, so let's just put this on here. There we go. Another great sound. It seems probably like I'm just going through them all, but there's so many to show you, and I think that's the best way to show off this instrument for you. There are some things I want to go through and explain. We've got the EQ we've mentioned. We've got this section that is colour coded, and that gives us all the different sections. So the white section is your drawbars. The blue section is your special voices. Orchestra 1 is your green section, and orchestra 2 is your yellow. So one from each can be added together. You know, you can put them all on at the same time, and that gives you a combination of all 4 different sections all added together. And they've all got their little volumes to blend them into how you want them. You can even do things like change the octaves. So if we've got something like a, let's have just the green section on, we have that guitar, we can go to the octave button and just lift it to a higher voice. So we might want to mix two sounds together, two strings maybe, but one at a higher octave will mean that you get this much richer sound. So the octave feature is nice. Then each one's got a sustain. We can bring sustain. So we've got our piano there. But we might want lots of sustain on it. And we could turn the sustain off and use it with our pedal. We've actually got a foot sustain at the bottom. So we could play it like a proper piano, and we've got a sustain pedal just like a proper piano to bring that in to sustain the notes for us. And we've also got a chorus in each section, so we can make the sound shimmer as well. So for each of the styles, we've got 3 choices and 3 variations. For each of the sounds, we've got sustain, we've got octave. We can mix 4 together in the upper, and then we can mix 3. We could even get it to play the bass for us, so we can play chords and the bass is played automatically. Some of the theatre sounds in here are brilliant. I'll show you the theatre organ sounds next. Reg Rawlings, who some of you might have heard about, who makes a lot of the sounds for the different manufacturers, has made some theatre sounds for this. I'm not a good theatre player, I'm afraid, but I can give you a bit of an idea. If we go into the theatre button, we've then got 16 different theatre sounds. So number 1, soft. Let's put that transpose back to normal. Subtle soft theatre sounds. Bit of Glock in there now, tibias and Glock. Next one, tibia ensemble. Now these are your best bigger sounds now. Big sounds. Next one is theatre brass. And if you press harder, that Glock is a lot more apparent. Cinema. A smile on your face. So lots of good theatre sounds, and the top one is your drawbar sounds, and the one below is your church organ. So church organ, we've got lots of it's a great organ for a church really, except that all the buttons on it probably won't get used, but the organ sounds for a church are great, the theatre organ sounds, the drawbar organ, sort of Hammondy sounds are all in there too. So the sounds that are built in are all accessible and very easy to use. And if you're realise you can just get away with using these buttons all the time. You don't need to stray away, but you can if you want to. And that's the thing, you've got these preset sounds, but you can literally just go away and add something else to it, or take something away, or change the bass sound, so you can easily adjust it. And this is where you've got these buttons as well to use for your own settings, so you can put sounds into it that have come from these presets, but you can adjust them and you can store them in, and you can save them onto a disk drive. So that would mean that you could have your own settings, put your disc in and use them, as well as using all their presets. So as you find a sound that you like, stick your disc in and you can restore it into your batch and lock it in so it's safe. You can also record your own music onto a disc as well. So you've got like a recording function, and it will play back MIDI files. If you've got songs, you can play stuff back on here too. So it's got the option to record your songs and record your settings as well. Something else that Orla have done on this one is that the one finger chords. If you're a one finger chord player, then it will do the way that you're familiar with it. It's from Yamaha, or from Technics, or from Casio. They've all got their own way of playing the minor and the seventh and the minor seventh chords. So one thing that Orla have sort of made fail-safe is that they've given you lots of different options to how you want to play your minor and your seventh. So if you're familiar with a certain way from a different brand of instrument, the chances are that you'll be able to find the right one in this, and it will still work for you to play your one finger chords with your minor and your sevenths. So that's another feature that they've made very easy to use. And the rhythm section as well, you've got these adjustments. You've got 3 different parts to every backing, and you can bring those in and out as you want to make the balance right between the piano or the guitar or the solid sound in the background. So they've thought of lots of ways to use it to make it easier and better and more adjustable. That's the great thing about it. So there's some effects on here. Quite like those. Transpose is on here, fine tuning is on here. All the things you'd expect, because it is a top of the range instrument. But as I say, there is a model that's smaller than this called the Orla Compact Theatre. This is the Grand Theatre, which is a taller one, and that means you get a pull down cover, which you don't get on the lower one. Okay, so I'm just going to finish off with one more song, and then it's time really. In fact, I'll just ask Charlie to log me into this again, because I don't know if any of you put anything that I need to answer, because I can't see it. Charlie's doing really well. We've got some new cameras we're using now, so hopefully you'll find it much clearer, and the cameras are a little bit better at focusing on the lights and the screen and things. So as we are doing the Genos and the Tyros ones, thank you, we'll be able to show you a bit clearer on the screen, and it won't be quite so difficult to read. Okay, we've got someone called Kashfi. Hi Kashfi, nice to speak to you. And watching from Norway, can you go through? Well, we've done the USB, that's good. Okay, so if you think of questions you want to know, you can always phone us or email us. We've got a live chat on our website, and we're very keen to help. You know, we spend hours and hours on the phone giving people advice on sounds or setups or recording and anything. Also, we've got a library of videos on our website, ePianos. There's a button in the middle that says support, and there's some blog which is written data about things that you might want to try out. There's also one called Piano Chooser, which helps you find the right piano for you, quite cleverly done. And then there's also one called videos, and in the videos there's a whole organ section which goes through all of the different organs that we do and the videos that we've made. So if there's certain models that you want to hear, there's a good chance there's a video that I've made which will demonstrate that particular organ for you. Okay, and also on our below the screen you're watching now, if it's been useful or helpful, or you've enjoyed laughing at me, just do that thumbs up just under the screen in the middle, and that means other people will find the video. It'll just help us to get more seen by other people searching for organ videos, and maybe they'll enjoy watching and hearing some of the sounds of this Orla Grande Theatre. Okay, I'm just going to go to one more sound then. Let's just go to the big band sound. Is probably my favourite. I used to play in a Dixieland jazz band. In fact, once I had to play the bass pedal instead of bass player, so the bass is quite something I enjoy playing. But let's go through and just do one more song. That's quite nice. So we'll put a style on to suit it. That's good fun. joining us. See you at the next one. Bye-bye.